Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to create a double brim where the brim is hidden on the inside by knitting together the cast on edge and the live edge. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brim and I'm going to fold it onto the inside of the hat. So I'm going to go around, fold the brim up, and align it with the top of the work here so that the live stitches are relatively even with a cast on edge. Next, we need to find the first stitch in the round so that we can line it up with that first stitch. I usually use my tail as an indicator of that, and I can see I have my little cast on right there, and so this is going to be the first stitch in the round. And honestly, even if you are a stitch or two off, it's not really going to make that big of a difference. So if you're not sure exactly what stitch it is, don't stress too much over it. Some people choose to knit together just one of the loops on the top. As you can see, there's two there on that stitch. So some people choose to just do one. I prefer to do two myself. I just feel like it's more secure, but honestly, you can do it whichever way you personally prefer. There are two ways to start knitting them together. One is to take that first stitch. You can pick it up with your needle and put those stitches onto the left needle, and then you would knit them as though you were knitting two stitches together. So I have the stitch on my live edge, I have that first cast on stitch, and I would go in as though I were to knit two together. Let's do that method one more time. So I'm going to find the next stitch that I'm going to knit into. I just knit this one, so I'm going into this stitch here. I will pick up both the legs of that stitch, or as best as possible. I will put them onto my left needle, and then I will knit that together with the stitch that's live on the needle. Another way to do this is to do it sort of in one motion. So what I would do is go into this first stitch as though I were to knit it. I would then go into that first cast on stitch. I will wrap my yarn around my needle, and then I will pull it through that cast on stitch and then pull it through the live stitch. And now on your right needle, you are going to have one stitch, and those will be connected together. I'm going to bring my needle through that knit stitch. I like to then pick up the brim with my left hand and make it a little straighter so it's easier to see. I'm going to find the next stitch that needs to be knit. I'm going to go through, you can see I've gone through both legs, wrap my yarn around, pull it through, and don't forget to pull it all the way back through that initial stitch that you did. That does kind of just take practice, and you can try and see which method you find works best for you. Once you start getting further down the work and the stitches are lined up, it does make it easier as you go along. This is a little bit of a time-consuming process, but once you get the hang of it, it isn't nearly as bad as it looks. All right, happy knitting, guys.